look, my reaction is just, to be honest with you, complete disappointment, really, more than anything else at this stage, because we spoke about this a few months ago, and we were hoping that things would change, that assessment of needs would get better, that they would actually be assessed in a timely manner. All of these things, none of this has happened. So yeah, disappointment more than anything else. I can be outraged all day long, but it probably will do nothing. You know, it's just, yeah, I'm kind of flabbergasted too that it's still continuing. Literally nothing has changed. We spoke about this, as I said before, and nothing really has moved on from there.
And there has been not much moving of the dial here, because what we know from other figures that we got was in the first 6 months of last year, there had been 19 assessment of needs completed in Clare. By the end of the 9-month period, that was just 25. So you're not even, if you think about that, you're getting an average of just over 8 every 3 months. I mean, no matter what metric you apply to that, staffing pressures or anything, that is a really poor result.
It is incredibly poor, which means that even the staff that are there are clearly doing other things as well. Because there's, even if you're absolutely on skeleton staff, you should be able to get through more than what's been gone through at the moment. Which means that staff are clearly not just doing one thing; they're clearly having to do other things too. And we again spoke about this before, that staff was needed for more areas as well, that they needed to actually concentrate in one area. And we spoke about this, I think, in towards the late summer, hoping that things would get better in the meantime, and they clearly haven't.
And the last time we did have this information, James, we did have a little bit more to go on. And what we knew then that we don't have now is that of the 19 cases that had been assessed in the first 6 months of the year, 16 of those children assessed were found to have some form of a disability. So that is quite clearly the vast majority. I mean, that is above 90%. And if we're to apply that same logic, that 90% of Clare children on a waiting list for an assessment of need will turn out to have a disability, that is something that your parents, your guardians, whatever it may be, they need to know the ramifications of and the consequences of straight away. They need to be able to know what specialist support they need, how to deal with it. Like, it seems like quite a period of your life where you're left in limbo wondering, what does my child need based on their condition?
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, my heart absolutely goes out to anybody who has children in need of an assessment like this, because you are literally sitting nowhere at the moment. You're in a no man's land for help, because you can't get the help because the assessment of needs hasn't happened. If that doesn't happen, in my own experience, having a child with disabilities, it's the same thing. You literally can go neither left nor right until your assessment of needs is done. You can't apply for anything. You can't get anything. You can't take anybody anywhere. You literally can do nothing. You are literally stuck in one place until that's done. So it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. And it just, the fact that we had this conversation during the summer, and we've been pushing in the meantime, and yet nothing really seems to have changed. Absolutely, my heart just goes out to anybody in waiting like this. And we waited ourselves for a very long time. It eventually happened, but my children's needs wouldn't be as bad as some, wouldn't be as severe as some, and I just think to leave people in limbo like that with children who are clearly in need is just ridiculous.
Where does the HSE and indeed the government have to go from here? Because it's a problem that needs to be solved.
Well, look, I mean, as we said already, even on the smallest of staff, surely they can get through more assessments than that are being done at the moment. And I do understand that somebody who does assessments of needs all day long, and maybe that is just their only job. I understand that they may in fact also be expected to do other things. That's understandable. But when you have that much of a backlog, and you have children clearly in severe need in places, I think something just has to be done. More has to be done.